On today's episode, we're exploring the intersection of the green industry and social enterprise. We had the privilege of interviewing two leaders from Seeds of Change at the Equip HNA show in Louisville, Kentucky. This company doesn't just specialize in hardscaping, turf, and total property maintenance. They are an employment social enterprise committed to hiring and supporting individuals who face major barriers to traditional employment. First up is James Bryant, who gives us the on-the-ground view of their services. Following that, Robert details their unique mission and shares the incredible story of a new initiative, Lumen Flats. Let's jump in.
Well, James, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you come to be at Seeds of Change?
So I've been with Seeds for going on 4 years now. So we do this thing. The guys in the company who show the most work ethics, bringing the most revenue, stuff like that, actually getting to come to a bunch of these conventions and everything.
Oh, no way.
I was chosen to do that. So I was like, yeah, let's go. I love having fun, bro. Talking to people, doing all this. This is amazing.
So is this your first show?
No, this is my fourth.
Okay, so you've been here every year.
Not this one, but I've been to several other conventions.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So what made you decide, what does Seeds of Change do anyways?
So what we do is we transform lives.
Whoa,
So
that's pretty,
we are
old.
Yeah. So we develop your dream backyard.
Robert, welcome and thank you for taking some time out of the show here to chat with us today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So we are an ESE, an employment social enterprise. And what that means is we, for the most part, only hire those who maybe face barriers to traditional employment, whether that be from a possible conviction in their past, or maybe they had some drug use in the past, or something that prevented them from following a traditional path to stable employment.
So you're giving folks a second shot at life here. These are guys that maybe their first time around, there were some decisions made where they might have wished they went a different way, or they took an alternative way around the block here. And you guys are saying, hey, we got you.
Yes.
We're going to work hard. We're going to create beautiful landscapes and we're going to maintain them. We're going to do this together. But in the process, we're a personal growth and development company. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely. We have so many different things that we are involved in at Seeds of Change. Aside from that, we're starting a new program that is going to be bringing in this like 6-month developmental cycle for people, and it's going to put them on a pathway to stable employment. But what we say first and foremost is that we're going to bring them in to heal them.
Okay.
And that's kind of our mission, is that, you had mentioned second chance. I don't necessarily see it as a second chance. I see it as a chance. What
a refreshing way to look at that.
We're blind. What happened in the past, you made a mistake. So what?
Right.
You come to Seeds of Change. You are just like anyone else that we would hire in, regardless of what their background was. They might have been, former CEO of a company. It doesn't matter. You're going to get treated the same.
So we work with a bunch of guys that are in recovery. So we are second chance company. So
Okay.
we actually break out, not guys out of jail, but the guys that are just coming out of jail, out of prison, halfway houses, recovery centers, allow them to work. We don't care what your background is or any of that. You know what I mean? So, and it gives them a chance to feel the love and just a fellowship we have with Seeds. We got 37 guys and every one of them are absolutely amazing.
And what do the jobs look like? Like, are we installing pavers or
Paver patios with fire pits, retaining walls. We do irrigation, landscape. We do the maintenance side. We do the leaf removal. Pretty much anything that you can think of.
pools?
We can do. We haven't quite done pools yet.
So you sub that out then, or
Yeah,
work with
we
other
sub out,
companies?
like the pools, and we'll come in and do the paper patios and retaining walls, fire pits, and all kinds of water features. Turf.
So we have two divisions. We have a maintenance division, which handles, mowing, TPMs, enhancements, and so on. And then we also have the projects division.
Oh, hold on. What's a TPM?
Total property maintenance.
Property maintenance. TPM's total So that would be what? Your fertilizing,
Absolutely.
aeration,
Absolutely. Leaf removal, trimmings, the whole 9 yards.
making sure my sprinklers are hitting the right part of the landscape.
Absolutely.
All that.
Winterization,
And
for
then,
irrigation, the whole everything.
and then what's the other side of you? But you said there were two parts.
So then we have the project side.
Okay.
And the project side is sort of the hardscaping and the landscaping as far as, the actual plantings and so on and so forth.
And how do you get your customers?
Word of mouth. We advertisement on Google. So if you Google us right now, I think we're top 5 right now on Google.
Wow.
Landscape companies.
In Tennessee?
It's Eastern Tennessee.
In Eastern Tennessee, top 5 on the Google,
Yeah.
getting leads in. And then I imagine once the people see the transformative effect you've made on their backyard,
Just word of mouth by neighbors and
referrals, and how many times doesn't a neighbor stop by while you're working on the job site, seeing if you can come over to their place?
a lot. That happens a lot.
What are you hoping to see at this show that could better yourself? Like, what's the tool that you could see that you'd be like, wow, I'm so glad we came to this show to find this. This is going to make my life so much easier.
Me personally,
Yeah,
I want to see
or for your teammates, whatever you want.
like more turf material, more ways to lay turf, hide seams, and other ways to cut patterns out for pavers.
The 4 years that you've been here, I'm sure you've seen some really amazing moments and some really moments that you're like, oh, why did we do this? Give me a do-over moment. Where was a day you wish you could just start that day over again?
So we ended up building this retaining wall up, and it was only maybe 3 or 4 foot high, but as we were backfilling it, the guys I was explaining the geogrid, and one section of the wall where it cut back to the left
Right.
did not have geogrid, and
Uh-oh.
as I was backfilling, it collapsed. And so we had to take down so much of the wall to build it back up and dig all that back out and redo it. It was heartbreaking.
Everybody was safe, though?
Oh yeah, everybody's great.
Did the homeowner see this?
No, not at all.
Oh, so you got in and out without
No, it's my job. I had to tell her.
Right. Oh, for sure. For sure.
Tell her, but yeah, that was a do-over moment. Like, oh my god.
If you're wondering why we're not further ahead today, it's been, well, a little bit of a collapse. Nobody got hurt.
Nobody.
And I'm sure you guys made it all just perfect in the end.
Hey, okay.
You mentioned at the beginning this raising a tree.
Yes.
How did you word that? That it's a...
It is Raise the Tree. It's a separate part of Seeds of Change.
Okay.
And it was created, our owner thought, hey, how can we give back even more to the community?
Right.
So we decided, or he decided that we had a property that was available to us that we were going to put together a tree farm, a Christmas tree farm.
Right.
And a portion of those profits go towards local issues, whether it's, I think this season is a men's recovery house, and all the proceeds get donated there. And it's a fantastic piece of property that we have, and we have places set up for Instagram pictures if you want to start posting stuff, and families that come, we have, fire pit with hot cider, hot chocolate. They can cook s'mores, and it turns into a great family event. And I thought, hey, okay, yeah, I can make some extra money, on the side or on the weekends, whatever, doing this. But I got there and I realized I would have done it for free. I really would have. It was incredible. I thought, this is not a job. I'm having too much fun to be paid for this.
Wow.
And that's how I got introduced to Seeds of Change. I learned very quickly, they are a true mission-driven company. And obviously, look, we have to make a profit.
Sure.
But, we have missions that we focus on. We have a project coming up called Lumen Flats.
All right.
It is incredible.
Talk about that. What's that look like?
So there's a gentleman out of Nashville by the name of Ben Brewer. He is the president of Elmington Capital.
Okay.
And he is very involved in the community and realized that there was a need. So you have youth that age out of foster care at 18 years old, and they are typically given vouchers from the government that they can then present to prospective landlords or homeowners to try and rent their own place.
Okay.
To move on out of the foster care and to be independent.
I was not aware how that worked.
And the issue, though, is out of all of the vouchers that are issued to everyone who is aging out of the program, only 12% of them get redeemed every year on average.
What happens to the other 88?
So what happens is the landlords see these 18-year-olds coming up to them thinking to themselves, okay, here's someone has no credit history,
Right.
no rental history, maybe a shaky job history. yeah, they have a voucher, but no, I'm going to pass and I'm going to instead rent to, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, who may be a little more stable of a background.
Okay.
So what
So
happens
what
is
happens to these 88% of
a
people?
lot of them end up on the streets. A ton of them, a vast majority, they end up on the streets. They have nowhere to go.
Right.
They end up in shelters. So, Mr. Brewer realized, wait a second, there's got to be something we can do.
Okay.
And what he tried to do was flip the script around so that instead of the participants getting a voucher to be able to use to find a place to live, how about we develop a place to live strictly for this purpose and we let them come to us?
Right.
And he thought, what a great idea. It's literally the first day he had to go to Washington, D.C., meet with a number of people and this and that to be able to get approval for this, to be able to have them sort of flip that script around on how the funds are dished out.
Right.
And he got to go ahead. So he asked us to go ahead and partner with him as far as the landscape areas. And now this is on a shoestring budget. He took a assisted living facility that had been shut down for a number of months, went ahead and bought it and wanted to convert it over so that there are 19 individual apartments for 19 future residents.
Probably needed some renovations at that point.
Absolutely. They went in and pretty much gutted it. And they asked us to partner with him for the exterior. And knowing that there were no funds available, said, look, what we'd like to do if you can, maybe, we'd love to have you come in and do some cleanup. Maybe put some mulch around. There was a little bit of a drainage issue. And we thought, hey, great. This would be a great service project for us to be involved in.
Sure.
So we went to the kickoff party and realized, holy crap, this is phenomenal. What they're able to do, what they're going to be able to provide. And then we stepped back and we got a landscape architect involved, a local landscape architect in Knoxville, Michael Verson. I'm talking to him and it's like, they're going to have a great place to lay their head, which is phenomenal. But what can we do beyond that? There's no funds available. You know what? Let's come up with some drawings. Michael did a great site plan, turned it over to me, and I thought, this is great. We can do a turf area for, bocce ball or cornhole, with synthetic turf, a gravel area of some picnic tables under some trees, a pavilion, with some seating walls going around and some some pondless fountains and
Sure.
Pavers with some seating areas where they can sort of congregate and gather. But then it always came back to, how are we going to do this? There's no funds to do this.
Right.
And
And you can have all the drawings you want.
right.
But
I realized that, one way or another, we have to make this happen. And so I committed. I committed to Seeds of Change.
so you're in
We are 100%
with
I'm
no money, with
nothing.
nobody supporting you from the back end yet,
and
with a pipe and a dream and a drawing.
I go to Ian, our owner, and Toby, our GM. I'm like, look, I don't know what we bit off here, but I committed. And then we find out about a week and a half ago that there's a hard deadline on this. We have 60 days. Everything has to be done and installed within 60 days. I sit in front of my laptop after I read that email and stared at that screen for 2 minutes thinking, holy crap,
Right.
I'm done.
Yeah.
But then I started making some phone calls. The very first one I made was to Brian Gossett at SiteOne. I said, look, this is what we're doing. This is a phenomenal project. We would love to have your input on this. It would be a great partnership. We'd love to have you involved. And
I'm sure Brian just would have right all over
jumped
it.
at the chance. Absolutely jumped at it. He said, look, not only that, I explained to him what our needs were.
Right.
He says, not only that, but, I think I have some other contacts that will help out with this, outside of SiteOne. Just one thing led after another. And within 3 days, we pretty much virtually had all of our materials.
All fantastic.
For a project that is very, very significant.
So are those 60 days up already? Like,
No.
this project
Nope.
done? Are we during this project?
Yes.
So what are you doing here? We got to get this thing motoring. Do we got people on the ground there? What's going on?
Yes, it's funny. I did. I just talked to Brian to just sort of shore up some things and,
Right.
to make sure things are rolling along. And Yeah, we are going to be on a time crunch on this schedule, but I'm so excited. I can't tell you, I can't thank SiteOne enough. You guys have been a source and a vendor for us for a number of years. We almost exclusively go to you guys for our needs. And to know that I can call you guys and in that quick of an instant, hey, we got your back. I can't tell you how great that makes us feel.
How could I get a hold of Seeds of Change if I want to change my backyard and or my lawn?
On seedsofchange.com. Listen up.
Seedsofchange.com.
A lovely lady will answer the phone. Her name's Meg, and she'll give you all the information you need.
How can I find more about this? How can I help?
GrowingSeedsOfChange.com.
Growing Seeds of Change.
GrowingSeedsOfChange.com, absolutely. And all of the contact information is on there. Anybody can reach out. Yes, if you want to become a new client, by all means, give us a call. If you think that you would fit, what we're looking for employment, give us a call. Absolutely. If you have a project that, you need some help with, you think, hey, this could be a good project for a mission-driven company, give us a call.
Robert, we are just so blessed to have you and companies like yours and to hear stories like this. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely. Listen, we feel fortunate that we have companies like SiteOne that help back us up. So we really do.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks for tuning in to Confessions of the Craft. Ensure you never miss an episode by subscribing to the podcast so you can be the first to hear new episodes and discover previous ones. Follow SiteOne on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn for the latest trends and industry updates.